Trevor, I don't like this ending. I'm not a fan right now. Are we good? We're good? Okay. So there I was, playing as Allie, your typical 17-year-old working at her mom's video store in some small town during the rad 90s. Everything seemed normal, organizing VHS tapes, dealing with customers, living that suburban life. But then everything changed. I discovered Mom was in serious trouble. The store owed a massive $97,342.18, and some loan sharks were breathing down her neck. Mom's plan? Ship me off to band camp while she dealt with it. Yeah, right, like that was gonna happen. That's when I met Ted. This smooth-talking grifter showed up out of nowhere and offered to teach me the art of the con. Was it sketchy? Absolutely. Was I desperate enough to help Mom? You bet. Ted started teaching me the basics. Pickpocketing, small cons, the whole works. Our first stop was the local mall, where I had to practice my newfound skills. Let me tell you, nothing prepares you for your first pickpocket attempt. My hands were literally shaking as I snuck up behind my first mark. I was actually getting good at it. Sure, I had to lie to Mom about where I was. Sorry, Mom, band camp was definitely not happening, but I was doing it for her, right? By the end of that first day, I'd made my choice. I left town with Ted, ready to learn more about the art of the con. Little did I know what I was getting myself into. Then there was Malton Mall. The mall was like con artist boot camp. I had to learn how to approach people, figure out what they wanted, and then, separate them from their cash. Sometimes it was simple pickpocketing, other times it was more elaborate schemes. Ted even taught me about disguises, because apparently the key to being a good con artist is playing dress up. Who knew? I can swap outfits and blend in with different crowds. Let me tell you, trying to act natural while wearing a completely ridiculous outfit, much harder than it looks. Oh, and get this, there was even this rad skater slot machine in the mall, because apparently when you're trying to save your mom's video store, you can still make time for some gaming. Did I spend too much time there? Maybe. Did I regret it? Also maybe. By the end of our mall adventure, I was starting to feel like a real con artist. The guilt was still there, sure, but the thrill of pulling off a successful con, that was something else. Plus, every dollar meant getting closer to saving Mom's store. But Ted had bigger plans. The mall was just practice for what came next. We were heading to the Hormliner Express, a train full of potential marks and nowhere for them to go. Talk about a perfect setup, or at least that's what I thought at the time. All aboard the Hormliner Express. After my crash course in con artistry at the mall, Ted and I took our talent to the rails, a train packed with unsuspecting passengers. It was like a con artist playground. The train was full of opportunities. My task was primarily navigating the train cars to scope out potential marks. Each car had its own set of characters and challenges, and I had to figure out the best way to separate them from their cash. But then I ran into the most... Well, you know what? Why don't you listen for yourself?
Worth their salt must first know buy low, sell high. Please, we're going to need to go a little deeper than that. The Flungus Index is, of course, the most regulated and surefire predictor of buying power in the greater Sandbelt region. Now, of course, it can't predict every export tariff upper limit from every Sandbelt securities provider, right? That would be ridiculous. Yes, ridiculous. So, to make real ROI moves on import and export from major securities, you can't just use the Fungus Index. You also have to have a good output. Import sorting predictor also. Of course. Import sorting predictor is a little number we in the biz like to call Lorgel's quadrilateral coefficient, or Logos quadrilateral co for short. Lorgel's quadrilateral coefficient, I hope y'all taking notes. Lorgel's quadrilateral code takes major trade rates in regions outside of oceanic countries and combines it with the value of salt in snow-dominant regions. Salt? See? Now you're getting it. With Lorgel's quadrilateral code below zero and a rising fungus index, we can accurately anticipate the value of commodity securities in unsecured commodified regions. Dude, I'm about to fall asleep! If the fungus index is high, a positive Lorgel's quadrilateral code means base rate prime interest on unsecured commodities for the next 5 quarters is basically in the bag. I think I hate this. Yeah, I do too! This is stupid! Okay, but if the Flungus Index is low, a positive Lorgel's quadrilateral code would... I'm sorry, I just feel weird about saying the short form. Do you mind? It's my bad habit. I know I can be a little weird. If the Flungus Index... Okay, if the Flungus Index is low, a positive Lorgel's quadrilateral coefficient would mean that most sales day trades and non-sales day night trades would fall victim to a rising price merge. Dude, I hope when I have to share this stuff that it's just an A, B, or C, and they keep it very simple. Now, that's not the... I'm so sorry I'm putting out through this torture. I'm torturing myself right now. No, that's not a price surge. It's a price smurge. The word is named after Alexander Smurge, who noticed that salt-to-snow ratio commodities trades become unsecured when rainy seasons were above almanac regularities. I think my ears are going to crawl into my hat and die. You don't have a hat on, girl. Okay. Okay, but a smurge could be good if you're going to short the fungus against a positive salt-snow local inversion. So buying stocks is really a matter of watching for smurges in the end. Of course, that doesn't include sales day night trades, which have levity applied for everything bought and sold in unsecured non-local quantified regions during smurges. So while buying the right stocks are about looking out for smurges, plummeting stocks during a smurge bought on non-sales day night trade gives you a better chance of besting Lorgle and the fungus. And buy high, sell low. I'm here to talk more. Buy. No. I think I got it. Yeah. Buy high, sell low. Spoken like a true trader. Here's my finance paper. If you'd like to brush up a little bit.
Using what I learned, I managed to convince another passenger to invest in the wrong stocks while I played the market to my advantage. It was my first taste of a truly sophisticated con, not just pickpocketing, but actually manipulating the stock market. Pretty wild for a teenager, right? By the end of the train ride, I'd pull off some of my best cons yet. The thrill of it all was starting to get addictive, and with each success, I felt more confident in my abilities. But there was always a nagging thought, was I going too far? But just when I thought I was getting the hang of things, Ted dropped a bombshell. Our next stop, Las Venganza. I should have noticed how Ted was acting different. He was more focused, more intense. But I was caught up in the excitement of it all. The money was flowing in Las Venganza though. Every corner held another opportunity, and Ted had me working overtime. Wallets, watches, you name it. If it wasn't nailed down, it was fair game. The take was bigger than anything we'd managed before. But Ted, he had his eyes on something bigger, the Kabaski safe. These super wealthy high rollers had something special stashed away, according to Ted. First step was meeting Dan. He was Ted's informant. Talk about a sketchy character. But he knew the Kabaski schedule down to the minute. Every detail would matter for a job this big. Of course, I still rambled through Las Venganza, conning, stealing as much as I could. I ran into a lot of money. That was no joke. There was also Murray. This guy apparently had the safe code, and let me tell you about my attempts to get that information out of him. It didn't go so well. Sometimes even the best laid plans fell apart. No matter what I tried, I just could not crack Murray. It was like my first real taste of failure in this con artist's life. Murray had it, but after sizing up the situation, I knew this wasn't my game to play. For once, Ted would have to do some of the work. I'd gather everything else. The least he could do was crack Murray. And wouldn't you know it, Ted actually came through. After all my legwork, setting everything up, he managed to get the code from Murray. It was kind of ironic. I'd done all the heavy lifting, gathered every crucial detail, and Ted swoops in at the last minute to get the final piece. But hey, as long as we got what we needed, right? And after all that preparation, all that waiting, it came down to this. Dinner time, the Kabaski's scheduled dinner time to be exact, all our intel pointed to this moment when their suite would be empty and vulnerable. The room was exactly where we knew it would be, all that reconnaissance finally paying off. Ted was practically buzzing with energy, directing me to search for the safe. It's here somewhere, he kept saying, behind a photo. And there it was, just like he said, a wall safe hidden behind one of those generic hotel paintings. All those days of planning, all my legwork gathering intel, and it all came down to this moment. I put in the code, and there it was, $150,000 in cold hard cash. More money than I'd ever seen in my life. Ted's eyes were practically glowing as we stuffed the cash away. We got out clean. No alarms, no security, no complications. It felt almost too perfect, you know? But after one final look in the room, to make sure that I got everything that I possibly could have, I noticed a portrait underneath the table. The Kabaskis.
The Kabaskis. Mom, Dad. Of course, Ted Kabaski.
Ted was their son. My mind raced trying to piece it all together. Why would he con his own family? What did this mean for us? Ted was ecstatic, almost erratic when we got in the car. The way he was acting, it was like he was on top of the world. But knowing what I knew now, it all felt wrong. I had so many questions. But Ted was too caught up in the moment to notice my silence. The drive out to the desert felt surreal. A part of me knew something was off, but I was too deep in it to turn back. So we talked about it. We talked about how much money I had earned, and it was a total of $88,539. I was getting so close to what I needed. The desert stretched out endlessly around us as we pulled into the Triple Truce motel. I couldn't hold it in anymore. The portrait from Las Venganza was burning a hole in my mind. He'd promised answers once we got inside the room, but what I got instead was, well, classic Ted, looking back on it now. Just enough truth to keep me hooked. They owed me, he said, and I chose to get it back my way. That was it. No details, no explanation. You know what the worst part was? I told him how much I trusted him. Actually said the words to him. But you should have seen how relieved he looked. How sincere when he promised he wasn't trying to screw me over. We even counted my share. $255,892.50 from all our cons leading up to this moment. It felt like a fortune. It felt like a victory. It felt like what Ted wanted it to feel like. When Ted said he'd sleep in the car, it seemed reasonable enough. We'd been through so much together, built so much trust, or at least I thought. Sure, there was this sinking feeling in my stomach as I watched him walk to the car, but I ignored it. That's the thing about con artists. They make you want to ignore those feelings.
Don't fall for it. I already said I trusted him. See, we're alone. It's the next morning. Yeah, he's reaching into your pocket. Yeah. Ted, we called it. Ciao. Where are? Maybe he's downstairs. Girl, no, he left. What a. Oh my God. This is bad. This is so bad. He conned me. I'm gonna go ask him. He'll say, "Oh, your friend left. Oh, whatever." Oh no. Okay, I can't talk to neither one of y'all. Car's gone, of course. Wow, I would have said that too. Wait, my stuff, the room.
You ever have one of those moments where you know what you're about to see, but you look anyway? The empty parking lot told me everything I needed to know. Ted was gone. The car was gone. My money, all $250,000 plus of it, gone. I checked everywhere. The vent, the dresser, the wardrobe, in the floorboards, under the bed, all gone. After Ted disappeared with everything, I was left with nothing. Just me, the desert, and a whole lot of anger. The first bit of hope came from a bartender and a random customer at the Triple Truce. Their advice? Follow the cactus. Especially the cactus with the flowers. Sounds like the world's worst treasure map, right? But at that point, I was desperate enough to try anything. But the heat was brutal, unforgiving. Each step felt like a battle in my mind. My mind kept drifting. I started imagining the video store, Mom's store, all those VHS tapes, the neon sign, the life that was about to be lost because of Ted's betrayal. I even imagined calling my mom, her voice distant and worried, was just a mirage in the desert heat, a fragment of my desperation, my hope. But it wasn't real. None of it was real. I was fading. The desert was winning. Each step became harder than the last. And then somehow I was back at a hotel, revived, and not alone. A familiar face was there, able to give me a ride. But this wasn't just any familiar face. This was Esme, a detective who'd been tracking Ted all along. She wasn't here just by chance. She'd been on Ted's trail the entire time. The mall security guard, the train bartender. She's gonna take me to Las Venganza. And just like that, my hunt for Ted was about to begin. According to Esme, Ted was actually working to impress the loan shark by helping to collect money. His entire mentorship of me was essentially a way to gather funds to pay off the loan and potentially gain favor with Ricky. The Kabaski heist? My entire journey, it was all just a means to an end for Ted. The ultimate betrayal was that he never actually intended to help me save the store. Instead, he was using me to collect money and then ultimately stealing everything I'd worked for in the desert, likely to present the loan shark as a proof of his effectiveness. Esme and I rolled into Las Venganza with one mission: find Ted and Ricky. But first things first, I needed a disguise, and in this town, looking the part was everything. The fancy clothing boutique was my target. Classic con artist move: pull the fire alarm, create a little chaos. While everyone was panicking, I made my move. Found some clothing that would age me up, make me look like I belong in this high-end casino. A quick change and suddenly I wasn't just a teenage con artist. I looked like I'd walk right out of a business magazine. Older, more sophisticated, exactly the kind of person who'd blend in a fancy casino. The casino was our best lead. We were sure Ted and Ricky would be there, plotting their next move. And with my new disguise, I walked right in like I owned the place. No questions asked. First order of business, getting $10,000 to access the high roller suite. For someone who'd been conning across country, this was child's play. A few strategic pickpockets, some pick sleight of hand, and I had my ticket to the exclusive area. So I went up the elevators and went to the suite, and there I found Ted and Ricky. And I could just overhear them talking about what schemes Ted has planned. I was quite surprised, and I didn't see Esme, but I didn't care. I went ahead and eavesdropped on what they were talking about, and as soon as Ted walked out, that was my opportunity.
Listen, Ricky, just a minute of your you little backstabber. I told you, I've got a lot of meat today, Daddy. It's Ted. Look, I've got something in this briefcase for you. It's even more than I promised you. Ted, whatever it is, that's great. You wait downstairs. I'll send my boys down there to get you when I've got some time. Okay? Grifondo here will handle your briefcase. Don't worry, Griff. It doesn't look too heavy. Oh my gosh. Okay, you.
Of course, once I saw Ted all alone, I figured it was time to confront him.
Hey, weirdo. The nerve of him to just think we're cool. Oh, hello, Ted. What are you doing here? Oh, should I be dead in a desert motel room? My bad. Hey, listen, it's just business. Business? I saw my shot and I took it. You of all people should understand. I should understand? I understand because you told me to understand. You took my money. I want it back. I can't do that, Allie. Besides, you wouldn't have it if it wasn't for me. So really, it's mine, you know? All right. Then I have a business proposition for you. Give me that money and I won't clobber you. Oh, come on, weirdo. You wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for me. It's my money because I spent my time taking care of you. I taught you how to grab wallets, how to talk to people. I showed you half the country. And you robbed me. Heh, look, I have an idea. I propose a little contest. I win, I keep the money. You win, you keep the money. It's easy. What kind of contest? A race. First to $20,000. Nothing off limits, no rules. You just have to stay in the casino. Have to stay in the casino, huh? Whoever gets it first and waits for the other at the fountain by the piano gets... whoever gets it first and waits for the other at the fountain by the piano gets the briefcase. It's my elder dog, you guys. He's in here. Oh, it's my elder baby. This is Tito, you guys. He's blind, deaf, and he's got arthritis and everything you could think of, but he's just a happy boy. Oh, hi, and he's in my room. I'm sorry. Oh, he came to say hi to me. Hi, baby. All right, that's Tito, you guys. He's gonna be 17. He wants to get out. Okay, all right.
The winner takes all contest was supposed to be Ted's moment of triumph, raise $20,000 and he'd walk away with everything. But I had other plans. I worked the casino floor like a pro, pickpocketing, swapping suitcases, playing the marks. Every trick Ted taught me, I was now using against him. When he wasn't looking, I swapped his suitcase with an empty one. Classic con artist move, learned from the master himself. And then Esme made her move. She caught Ted. She exposed everything about his scheme. The loan shark, Ricky, the plot against my mom's store, everything came crashing down. The moment of truth came down to this. Ricky, this loan shark who'd been threatening my mom's store, thought he was untouchable, but sometimes the universe has other plans. I walked in with a plan not just to pay the loan, but to end this once and for all. Instead of simply settling the debt, I did something unexpected. The deed to the video store, the very thing Ricky had been using to terrorize my family, was about to become my ultimate weapon. And then Esme made her move. She burst in with the warrant, her voice cutting through the tension, announcing he was under arrest for racketeering and extortion. Okay, this is Tiff. I am out of narrative. I'm going to let you guys finish the rest of the story because, well, sometimes looking is better than listening to a voice. So here we go. Trevor, I don't like this ending. I'm not a fan right now. I want to talk to you. Where's my mama? I can't believe it. Is everyone wearing periwinkle? Are you joking? You're kidding, right? Like this is a joke. This is the video store. Where's mom? Mom? Mom, where are you? To be frank, I missed a lot. Hey, oh my God, you're home. I've been up all night. Are you okay? Did anyone hurt you? Are you hurt? I'm fine, Mom. I was pretty angry, I guess. Maybe I still am. Listen, Allison, before we discuss what might be the greatest grounding of a single individual in human history, it's gonna be epic, I bet. I'm sorry I didn't tell you what was going on. I'm sorry I risked the store and hid it from you. Sorry that I tried to act like everything was okay. And most of all, I'm sorry that I made you feel like you have to fix it all. I just wanted to give you a chance that I didn't have. This is my chance, Mom. This store, film, I don't know, running a business. This means everything to me. I don't want Juniper. I don't want the trombone. I want to go here. I want to make something rad out of this place. But Allie, you can't just work in a store the rest of your life. I built this place as a last resort. You can do great things. My biggest fear is that you'll end up like me. Okay, first of all, I have it on good authority that I am very much like you. Okay, fine. Maybe I don't work here for the rest of my life. But this is the place I want to be right now. I love being around movies and solving problems. And stealing? I want to do this until it's time to figure out the next thing anyway. Okay, thanks for telling me. There's not going to be much of a store to help you run by the end of this week, but I promise we'll start again. We'll rent tapes to people out of the back of our car if we have to. Mom, what? I wouldn't be so sure that we'll need to do that. What do you mean? Well, after I got the deed back from Ricky, I might kind of sort of still have $436,484.80 left over. Oh, my God. Okay, Allison, you are definitely going to be grounded, but $436,484.80? We could get the sign repainted. Get a full set. She stole the money, though! Oh my God. Get a full set of new releases for the next couple of years. We could take a vacation. We could start making our own movies. Not too bad, huh? That is a lot of money, but you're going to figure out how to get it back to people. Oh, how to get it back to people. What, Mom? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you upset that I'm not letting you keep the money you traveled across the country stealing? Thank you. No. Besides, hey, look at me. We don't need it. We're going to be okay. You and I are going to be okay. Okay, Mom. Good. Now, tonight, as part one of your punishment, I picked the movie. It's going to be boring. That sounds all right to me. And tomorrow, you can start figuring out how to deal this money back to the people that it belongs to. Deal? Deal? You can count on me, but how? Yeah. All right. Well, that was it, you guys. Very anticlimactic on the part of this game. Okay. You could have woken up. Exactly, Jenny. I would have preferred that over this. Depending on what kind of movie, that would be iffy at best. Exactly. We need people for Rivals log on. Okay. It was a lasting cut. Oh my gosh. Boo!